You're listening to Passages, a podcast about great quotes, life, and the wisdom of the Bible. And now your hosts, Drew Kaiser, Jason Pulliam, and Tim Layton.
Hello.
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 Welcome.
We've always wanted to do that. That was fantastic.
That was brought on and inspired by the Three Stooges, which I think technically we probably should have named this podcast.
Right. Very fitting.
Podcast gold right there.
That's right.
And guys, we should have also named ourselves First Take. I mean, we nailed that.
Yeah, the first take was better than that one.
I think so. Did y'all hear the fifth note? I felt like our harmony was just perfect. No?
Did not hear that.
Me either. I think you have to have four-part harmony for that to work, maybe.
Maybe. I really don't even know what you're talking about right now.
I'm totally making this up.
You know, we're 1 week into President-elect Donald Trump, and he has been busy.
America.
And so I just wanted to go over the cabinet picks. I mean, apparently he had a little notebook in his back pocket that he'd been writing names down on over the last several months, even though he didn't know who was going to win the election. He was prepared. And some of these are interesting. Some of them are exciting. Some of them, I don't know how I feel about them.
A little bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, and some I didn't know until the news came out. So I was going to go through the list of the people we know about so far. And I think the first pick was Susie Wiles for Chief of Staff. Interestingly, the first woman ever to serve in that position. It seems like by 2024 we would have had at least one woman serving in that position, but she's the first.
And I don't know, outside of his, I guess, acceptance speech the night of the election, I even realized who Susie Wiles was.
Yeah, she's very behind the scenes.
Yeah.
She was one of his campaign organizers, and of course, the campaign was well run. I think everybody agrees. So she seems to be, all these people are, we could say this about all these people, she's very loyal to Trump.
Mm-hmm. Was she like the campaign director, or was there somebody
Co-director.
else? Co-director. Okay.
Yeah.
I know that he wanted her to get up to the microphone and speak, and she was like, no, I'm not. I mean, she told him right there in front of everybody on stage, like, no, I'm not going to speak.
Right.
So, I mean, to me, that was a good sign. She doesn't want the spotlight.
And I think she is more respected on both sides of the aisle than some of these others will be.
Yeah.
Not that that matters a whole lot for Chief of Staff, but
No.
she's not a real political person. Some of these others are very political. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was happy about this next one, Marco Rubio for Secretary of State.
I think he's a wise guy. I think he'll do a good job.
Well-spoken, good. Okay, here's the one, the first head scratcher. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. Fox News guy. Like, he is a veteran.
Yeah.
But I know him from the Weekend Fox and Friends show.
See, I've never watched the Weekend Fox and Friends, so I don't really have an opinion about him other than the only thing I kind of like about him is he's not a true I mean, he was working in a political world for Fox News, but he's not
this media.
But I'm not sure he's a politician, so maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah,
but he's got a
he's
military background.
Yeah, he does. He reached the rank of major. He was in combat. Usually a general is in this position.
But maybe it's a wise choice because I would think with the position of a general comes some certain entitlements, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting
We'll
to see.
see.
The way Trump operates, if he doesn't like him, he'll be gone.
Yeah.
Are there any recent, memorable secretaries? Wasn't Colin Powell a Secretary of Defense?
Yes.
Did he have that job at one point in time?
There's Rumsfeld. He was the
Rumsfeld.
Iraq War guy. And this most recent one, I forgot his name, but the guy that checked out for 2 weeks and didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Because he's having a surgery he didn't want to talk about. That's who we're replacing. So we can't get much worse than that. And he was a 4-star general, so.
Yeah. I think moving away from the elite of military brass is probably not a bad thing. I don't know, though. Who knows?
We'll see. Okay, Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. That's the newest
Do you
one.
think he's going to go through? He is not liked
I
on
don't like
either
him.
side. I don't know much about him, but I know he's not liked. He is not a popular guy.
I didn't understand that one.
Doesn't he have some ethics stuff against him right now
does.
going on?
He does.
Yeah.
He has some weird personal stuff going on.
That may be an uphill battle from a confirmation standpoint. The Senate confirms, right? Am I right
Yes.
about that? Okay.
With some of these, with true cabinet positions, here's another one I
But if
was.
you've got challenge on the Republican side,
It's not
probably
gonna
not
go
going to
well.
get confirmed, right?
Yeah, he's.
Doesn't take that much challenge on that
And
side.
if he's
Well,
got,
there's talk of recess appointments.
if he's
So
got,
have you heard about this?
I read
heard that
something
term
about it.
today.
If
but
he can get the Senate Majority Leader to call a recess, he can appoint people during that recess time without confirmation.
And then they serve for a couple of years, I think, until
recess
something
is
like
over,
that.
yeah.
that's a long recess.
When are they not in recess?
You know, if there's truth and validity to the ethics claims, I don't know how you could put him through. Now, if they're trumped
Well,
up, not to use that.
I don't
as a
have
pun,
anybody
I don't
in
know.
mind, but I would like for him to get somebody besides
Yeah.
Matt Gaetz. He's just a big mouth. This next one,
Judge Judy, maybe.
Is
she's
Judge Wapner still
pro-Trump.
around? The People's Court.
I think Wapner.
I think he's probably gone on to
Like
make.
he's going to the big
That-
court in
yeah.
the sky.
Yeah.
Probably so.
This next one I wasn't sure about either. Kristi Noem for Secretary of Department of Homeland Security.
I don't know enough about her.
She's the one that wrote the book that detailed taking her dog out to a gravel pit and killing it.
well, sometimes
everybody
you just
fell
need
apart
to
about
put,
that.
put old Yeller down.
Yeah,
Sometimes
and
you just
she
have to.
she has
Wait.
been governor of South Dakota.
And she's got a history of military service too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
What position was that?
Maybe I'm thinking,
Department of Homeland Security.
or maybe I'm thinking of Tulsi Gabbard. One of them has some military service. I don't know.
Tulsi Gabbard,
Yeah.
who was the next one on my list. Director of National Intelligence.
I'm good with that.
Now, what is that? That's not the CIA, is it?
I would think that she is running. She
Is
is
it
the
the
White
FBI?
House. I would think she's the White House liaison to all intelligence organizations, right?
Okay, maybe this is a post 9/11 position
I
that
don't know.
coordinates all the
That's
intelligence
what I would think,
agencies.
yeah. Or the one that's responsible for briefing the president from
Now,
the intelligence.
Tulsi
agency.
Gabbard was in the military. She used to be a Democrat. She's
went
from
independent.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
So she's very popular because of her nonpartisan
Well,
creds.
so by my count, that's 3 females so far for a guy that the media told us hated all women and was against all women. So I think that's
And if we're keeping count, one minority,
yeah,
Marco Rubio, I guess.
and one guy with really bad hair, Matt Gaetz.
Yeah. Hey, his hair is better than mine. So
You know, I'd take yours over his, Drew. What you have of it anyway.
Elise Stefanik, ambassador to the United Nations. All I know is that she's really pro-Israel. I don't know much about her.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't like this one just because I'm tired of him. Mike Huckabee
Israel, right?
made his way in there, ambassador to Israel.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of hearing him talk. I don't know. He's
Does
probably a
does
decent
he have
guy.
a show on Fox?
He used to.
I don't know.
He's just been. He's been in the public eye for a long time, and that might make him a great ambassador to Israel.
Did that one just come up because it's Israel, right? I mean, there's an
Yeah, he's a
ambassador to every
Zionist.
country in the world or whatever, right?
That's probably where a lot of that comes from.
Yeah.
What you just said, yeah.
Steve Witkoff, special envoy to the Middle East. Don't know anything about him.
Nope, me either.
Mike Waltz, national security advisor.
Don't really know anything
don't,
about him.
Don't know anything about him. John Ratcliffe, CIA director. I hear that's a good choice. Again,
I
never
read an
heard of him.
article where they were praising that choice. So
Lee Zeldin, Environmental Protection Agency administrator. I think he was the guy that ran for governor of New York.
maybe so, yeah.
Not-
So I have not heard RFK. Is RFK Jr.
He's
there?
not on. He hasn't been cleared for anything.
because he is
I've got
really
the most
interested.
up-to-date
Isn't
list
he
right here.
really interested for like Health and Human Services, the director of Health and Human Services or something? I think I read an article that was talking about, because that's your
FDA.
FDA, USDA, that kind of thing.
Well, these next two guys may eliminate all those agencies. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, Department of Government Efficiency.
Now this
or
is a
DOGE.
this is a new department, right?
Yes, yeah.
Boy, you wish they could come up with something that would make it be Dojo. That would be so much cooler than Doge.
Yeah.
And they could come out in gis like they're going to karate. Both of them a black belt, obviously.
I wouldn't put it past Elon Musk to
This
wear.
is Elon who went into Twitter and said, "All you guys can go."
Yep. Yeah, they're gonna slice and dice.
Do you think there's some inefficiency in the government that needs to be
I don't
kind of
think so.
some fat to be carved
I
out?
believe they
maybe?
need to hire some more.
Well, he's talking about. He's already said he's gonna cut the Department of Education. And Trump made a video and said he's going to do away with it.
Are they doing anything with the Department of Redundancy department?
Well, yes and yes.
Interesting.
Okay, and this last one, if y'all haven't seen clips from this guy, you gotta look at clips from Tom Homan, Border Czar. This guy's tough.
Does he look tough?
Matter of fact, yes.
Is it one of those that
really thick neck?
that you can picture the border agents are going to be like, all right, I can serve under this guy.
Yes, they are excited about him.
That's good.
The immigrants, not very excited about him.
No,
He's talking about deportments.
That said incorrectly, though. The illegal immigrants.
Yes, I meant the undocumented.
Yeah, undocumented.
immigrants.
Yeah. Because we've got a lot of great immigrants here. And some of the undocumented ones are great immigrants. They're just not here legally.
Yes, and they say they're going to prioritize lawbreakers. But like we said last week, this is going to get ugly.
Probably.
And I don't know if America has the stomach for it, but
But sounds like he's the guy that he does.
people voted for a change, and this was probably the number one issue or the number two issue on their minds. And so he picked a guy who's going to take the opposite approach that we've had over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And we're headed that way, whether it's going to, I mean, something had to change.
Mm-hmm.
And
It will be an
We'll see.
interesting next 6 months to a year. Did I read where they have paused or put on hold or whatever the legal term is, the sentencing of Trump that was supposed to happen?
I don't know about that.
That it
There's talk that could happen.
okay.
There's talk that Biden might pardon him.
Yeah.
But those cases, none of them are looking very strong right now.
Do you think at any point when Biden and Trump met, I think it was this week, Biden leaned over and said, "By the way, I voted for you."
I wouldn't be surprised.
But he might
I'm
have
telling
said,
you.
"I'll pardon you if you'll pardon Hunter."
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They had a meeting today, didn't they? And
sure
Was
did.
it today? I knew they'd met at some point.
and I'm sure that came up.
Biden said, "Hi, I'm Joe Biden. What's your name?"
Yeah, probably. He probably thinks he's still running for president.
It'll be interesting to see where all of this goes. So while we're on the topic of chaos and government, I found a story that I want to bring up that's not government related, but I'm going to play a little theme. I'm going to play my own music to, well, am I jumping in? Were you
No,
done?
I'm done.
Okay, just making sure. I'm going to play my own little music to introduce my story. So hold on. I'm not playing it.
Is this is an original composition? It's your own music?
No, I'm stealing this from someone else.
Okay.
And thankfully we have so few listeners that, no one's listening to.
We'd like for both of you to
yeah.
listen to this.
Yeah. Here we go, guys. Those of you my age and older should remember this.
Here we come, walking down the street. We get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around.
Good stuff.
We're too busy singing.
All right. So I'm bringing up a story tonight that, as typically happens, Tim and I both brought to the table. We leg wrestled for it. I won. So I'm going to be doing the story.
How did I miss that?
And I've got a nasty Charlie horse now.
Police hunt 43 monkeys that escaped from a South Carolina research facility. And here's the subtitle to this title. Anyone who finds a monkey should not interact with it, but instead call 911, authorities said. So a police search is under the way after 43 monkeys escaped from a research facility in South Carolina on Wednesday night. So this was a week ago. Police in this area in Beaufort County, I can't pronounce the name of the city, Yemassee, I don't know.
We're not going to help you.
Said that the rhesus macaque monkeys,
He's looking
primates,
at us like we're
escaped.
zoologists.
So these monkeys, rhesus monkeys, escaped from Alpha Genesis, a business that provides non-human primate products and bio research services. The monkeys are a group of very young females that have never been used for testing. The spokesman confirmed to police that the animals are too young to carry disease, which we all know is untrue, because if you've ever been to a daycare, the toddler room, anything young can
the
carry
younger,
disease.
the more disease they carry.
The company Alpha Genesis currently has eyes on the primates and are working to entice them with food. Traps have also been set up, and officers are using thermal imaging cameras in an attempt to recapture the animals. Residents are strongly advised to keep doors and windows secured to prevent those animals from entering the home. Anyone who finds them should not interact, but call. It goes on to talk about a few things of it. This company at some point secured a federal contract to run a colony of 3,500 monkeys on Morgan Island off South Carolina, which is also known as Monkey Island.
There's an island of monkeys off of South Carolina.
Yes.
And they have been penalized in the past because they've had some incidents with monkeys escaping enclosures in the past.
Is there any way that island doesn't turn into Planet of the Apes? I mean,
that is
come on.
so in
probably-
the
They're going
cards.
to turn on us, and all of a sudden, speedboats are going to come flying
Yeah.
off that island, and
I'm pretty sure there
It's
is
on
some
develop
weird
language
stuff going
skills.
on that island.
it's on like Monkey Kong.
So
See what I did there?
I did. That was pretty good. So as of today, I did a little research, and as of today, there are 11 monkeys still on the loose.
11.
Now, here's my question. Of those 11... Oh, I didn't know what was happening. I wonder how many of those monkeys are already in taxidermy shops because when the people of South Carolina and Georgia, which borders it, and Tennessee and North Carolina
Just a little bit of background for this
when they
discussion.
heard there are 43 monkeys running free in South Carolina, there were some good old boys that got out
the
their
guns
camo,
off the rack.
got their rifles
And they
out.
said, "Monkey, I ain't got no monkey."
I'm gonna get one of them on my wall. And so they're out there in camo, and there's got to be at least one or two that are in a taxidermy shop by this point.
Yeah.
I know if they were escaped around here, would you not be out looking for one? I know
Absolutely
I would be.
not, because monkeys are. They get mad like that.
Yeah.
Listen,
But if you're
monkeys are not Curious George. Monkeys will
they're-
eat your face off.
That's
Now
exactly
you're talking
right.
about chimpanzees.
No,
he's
I'm
talking about
rhesus
monkeys.
monkey?
Monkeys.
Oh, they're so cute and cuddly, Tim.
Listen,
I don't know. I've never been around
So
one.
the only monkeys I've ever seen.
Michael
in the
Jackson
wild,
had one. How dangerous can they be?
I saw some monkeys in India.
Poor little monkey.
Out in the wild. So we had one weekend where we got to go somewhere while I was over there for a couple of weeks, and we went to this old temple, and they said, you'll be able to see some monkeys here or whatever. And so like there would be monkeys like on the top of a fence post or whatever, and they're like, "Listen, don't go mess with those monkeys," right?
But those
'Cause-
were Indian monkeys.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's a lot different. And so
Same species.
but listen, the weirdest thing was there were so many of those monkeys. There was this old temple, and when you looked at it from far off, it looked like the temple was moving, and it was monkeys crawling up and down
Whoa.
it. It was freaky.
So if you walked
Wow.
out there and threw a hot dog towards it, it would be a kill. Just a like a ball of monkeys just
Yeah.
going crazy.
Or if you just held a hot dog up, there'd be nothing left of you.
So what do you do if you hear something tapping on your window and you look and it's a little monkey? I mean, do you call? Do you go outside and try to shoo it off? Do you get some peanut butter and a giant rat trap? I mean, what are you doing with this thing?
You do not engage the monkey. Listen, I'm telling you, it will
Leave it to
not
the
end
experts.
well.
Yeah.
You know, didn't this how that movie 12 Monkeys started? Was a monkey escaped with some horrible disease? If I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
Wow,
been
this
a
guy
while.
has yawned twice since we've started.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
been a
not
long
looking
day,
good.
fellas.
Listen, the version of the story that I read said that there was they interviewed somebody in this town who said it's not that unusual to see just a monkey on the side of, just out in the
Really?
open, because there's this place, right, that they do all this testing. 43 is is a big deal. Whoops, I let one out today.
Yeah.
Not that big a deal.
So what if
We can just make some more.
We're just going over to the island and getting another batch.
And
right?
if there's
3,500 over
and
there,
if there's
multiplying every day.
a couple of males in the early escapees, and now 43 ladies are out on the streets, there's going to be more monkeys.
America's
us-
going to have a monkey population.
Show us the new tote boards. Now it's 75.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said they were trapping them. I didn't hear anything about tranquilizer darts.
You know, I read nothing about anything like
but
trapping.
that was being used.
so one
they
article.
left some details
hey,
out.
One article
What
I
we
found.
need is Taylor and Sam to head over to Georgia, get some capture darts, and head towards
capture
South
equipment
Carolina.
for your animal capture needs.
There we
capture
go.
equipment. But
This is
I
the
read
third yawn.
I read one.
Unofficial sponsor of Passages.
I read one article that said that. Oh, here we go. 11 monkeys still on the loose. That they have been using. They have been using peanut butter and jelly and Fruit Loops to capture the monkeys. So these are dumb monkeys. I mean, if you see a Fruit Loop and that gets you captured, that's a problem.
Yeah, but peanut butter and jelly.
Now that's.
I'd go for that.
Hey,
Now,
over
I'm
my
telling
house
you,
the other night, I
you
could have
have
caught
got-
you with peanut butter and jelly.
Let me tell you, I had 4 of those
Went
sandwiches
through
over there.
those.
I've
Let
never
me
seen
tell you,
anybody eat so many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Your ratio of peanut
All
butter
you
to
needed
jelly
was a little bit of a little tiny peel in one of
Yeah,
them, and he
yeah.
would have been down for
Yeah,
the count.
I'm just telling you, those little triangular shaped sandwiches, it is the
Yeah.
perfect ratio. Like if Smucker's hired you to make its little, what are the little peanut butter things?
Uncrustables.
Uncrustables, they would double their sales.
I put Uncrustables to shame.
You really do.
Mine are so good you can eat them with the crust on.
I guarantee you, I'm not a
That's
monkey,
how good my PB&Js
but you could
are.
catch me with one of your PB&Js.
All I can say is practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of PB&Js.
Well, yours, and I'm not even a huge grape jelly fan, and I'm pretty sure that's what you had on there, and
Yeah.
they were spectacular.
yeah.
In
you
fact,
like the
if you-
strawberry?
You know,
Strawberries.
normally
Strawberries
I like,
my jam.
normally I like the
Saw
strawberry,
what you did there.
but on your sandwiches, the grape was pretty phenomenal. I mean, you would catch me with it. They were good sandwiches. If you've not had a Drew Kaiser peanut butter and jelly
Yeah,
sandwich,
come on over to the house. We'll make you one.
and then have a bowl of ice cream afterwards.
Speaking
right.
of food,
Oh,
I have a food update.
oh, let's do
If
it.
you were a hot dog, you were starving, would you eat yourself?
So I had a little talk, Drew, before you came in with Jason, and I had to do a little conferring on whether or not we've done this list before. This is dated. This article is dated as a new article, but I have a slight fear that we've done something of this nature before.
But if we can't remember it, our 4 listeners surely can't remember.
That's right. And so maybe it's been at least long enough that everybody will enjoy it. So this is 11 Alabama foods that everybody needs to try once.
That sounds very
It
familiar.
does sound familiar, and so we're going to let our
But
listeners.
he read
tell-
a couple, and I didn't recognize.
Might be a
them.
different list
Maybe
of
it's a
Alabama
different
foods.
list,
I think
right.
we've done Alabama foods, and we did not like that list.
Yeah. So
That's my memory.
As we get into it, I mentioned a couple of them to Jason, and he thought it wasn't necessarily a list we'd done before. This is in no particular order. 11 foods that you need to try at least once.
Okay.
Kaneka sausage. So
Is that Kaneka or Conica?
Kaneka County.
Okay.
I don't
learned
know.
something tonight.
All right.
Kaneka.
So if you've never been to, Jason and I were also talking about, this is on my trip to the ocean, but not on Jason's. It
Not
goes
the
in a
way,
different
not the route I
direction.
go. Yeah.
But down 65, you go through. I think you go officially through Conecuh County, and one of the exits has a Conecuh store, and you can go in there and try all kinds of different versions of their sausages and stuff.
Right.
Outstanding. It's worth the stop.
I've had
They
Conecuh
have these
sausage.
small little samples that they call Conecuh dots. Rim shot. Sorry.
Yeah. If you have
There
to
you go.
tell me, it's.
There you go.
I'm a little slow tonight.
I've noticed you've yawned 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm keeping a tally mark now.
All right, so Conecuh sausage, pretty good. We were also talking about the fact that really it is just sausage, but it's good.
It's good.
It's all right. Golden Eagle syrup. You familiar with Golden Eagle
I've
syrup?
never heard of it.
Heard of it.
Y'all haven't?
Nope.
Ooh, this
We're
was-
not native Alabamians.
I will tell you that this was a staple in the Millie Hayes family. In fact,
Did they still make it?
yeah, they do. Made in
it up.
Fayette.
Okay.
That's where Golden Eagle syrup is made.
Huh.
And so they say
Never
that
seen it.
it's has cane sugar, corn syrup, molasses, and honey in it. It's a really good syrup, and I
So
think
it
fairly
comes in
unique.
a jar, not a squeeze bottle, is what it looks
It's a
like.
jar.
It's a jar.
And this was so Millie's
Got a
granddaddy.
dispensing problem
Millie's
there.
granddaddy, Ethbert Hayes, had a special way of you got to cut it off, with the knife to keep it from just messing your, the whole jar up or whatever.
Oh,
so that was a
Yeah,
big
I'd make
deal.
a mess out of
Oh,
that
man.
jar.
You know the lid to that thing is so hard to open the second
Yeah.
time you want to use it.
That's why you had to keep that, that lid just right. So, Golden Eagle syrup, y'all need to give it a try. Next time I see some, I'll get
look
some
for
for
it.
you.
You can even buy it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah. Orange rolls. Now we go to, what's the name of the place up at the summit?
Oh, that's Urban Cookhouse.
Urban Cookhouse
Has
has some
orange
great
rolls.
orange rolls.
Yeah.
But those are not the ones that are mentioned in here. It says that apparently All Steak Restaurant up in Coleman, I believe. Never
Okay.
been to this restaurant before.
I've heard really good things
Yeah.
about this
Yeah.
restaurant. I've never been there.
I haven't, but it says that it's known as the home of the orange roll, and I think a really good steak restaurant.
Do they throw it?
That's
a good
another
question.
place.
That's a good question, and not necessarily that's not a Bama original. That's a Midwest original or something,
Yeah.
right? Like Kansas or somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think
has
that's
a
in Alabama.
satellite in
Yeah.
Alabama. The old Lambert's, home of the throwed roll.
You can throw an orange roll if you want to.
Here's one.
Also known as home of the overpriced food. Did I say that out loud?
Here's the one that I'd like to get your thoughts on this, because
Okay.
as a native Alabamian here for 58 years, I don't think this was a real thing until somewhat recently. And so I feel like that this was just came out of a marketing department somewhere. Alabama white sauce. I'm not opposed to it. I'm okay with it.
I love
But
it.
I went through about 50 years of not hearing about
On
Alabama
chicken,
white sauce.
man, on barbecue
who
chicken.
says that Alabama has to stop its cultural progress on your birthday?
Well, maybe that's okay.
That
I mean,
is true. Yeah.
can we not develop some new things down
Yeah.
here?
I
But,
mean, my goodness, in
if you
58
say-
years,
if you
the
say-
car, air conditioning,
well, that's true.
TV.
Thank God for air conditioning. I
Amen.
couldn't do it without it. So
I like the white
I mean,
sauce.
have they put a man on the moon
I'm
since
okay
you were
with-
born?
I'm good with white sauce too. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 69.
Yeah.
That was when I was 3.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
are you making fun of me?
That was many moons ago.
So, I'm just, the Alabama white sauce seems to have come along.
Man, and let me
Now
tell
the question is, did we get it from another state?
I don't know.
I mean, is that really truly an Alabama thing?
I'll do a little research.
This says go to any barbecue restaurant in the state, and there's a good chance you'll find their take on Alabama white sauce. I think I have to dispute that. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
that's
that
not
a lot
everywhere.
of- no.
No.
Now, like
Our local place has
Rusty's
it.
does
yeah.
has good white sauce. Yeah, absolutely. But it says among some of the more noteworthy places readers suggest you should try. Do y'all know anything about Miss Myra's Pit Barbecue in Cahaba Heights?
I know where it is,
but it sounds good.
I've heard it's good.
And Big Bob Gibson Barbecue in Decatur. Millie and I went there one of our last trips up that way, and it's outstanding. And that's one
However-
of those places that wins all these like barbecue cook-offs and things. Big Bob Gibson Let me give
Okay.
you a recommendation. Next time you're in Decatur, stop there.
So according to the AI overview, top thing when you search where was white barbecue sauce invented, Decatur, Alabama.
Big Bob Gibson.
Big Bob Gibson.
All right.
All right. That's cool.
Next on the list.
Thanks, Big Bob.
Yeah, thank you, Big Bob. Next on the list is another on the way to the beach stop, Priester's Pecans. Are y'all familiar with Priesters?
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
Overhyped.
Yeah, and I would agree.
Everybody talks about it, and when you get there, you're like,
well, at the end of the
how
day,
much of this can I eat?
Right. At the end of the day, it's pecans, right?
I think people, people are drawn by the free samples.
And just because you can do 40 different things to a pecan, it doesn't change the fact
You're
that
eating
it's
a
still a pecan.
tree nut.
And at the end of the day, put it in a pie. That's really the thing that needs to
And then
Yeah.
you call it pecan pie.
Yeah. All right. This one was a shocker to me. It was Slocum tomatoes. Ever heard of Slocum tomatoes?
I have heard of them.
You have.
I have not.
All right. You might think that a tomato is a tomato, but when it comes to tomatoes grown in the small town of Slocum in Geneva County, you'd be wrong. It's not an easy thing to explain. There's been some debate about whether it's something in the soil, but for whatever reason, tomatoes grown in Slocum are just better.
It's probably that big chicken farm that's just upriver from there.
It might be
Good
true.
thought. So anyhow, do you know where is Slocum? Do you
I
know?
don't know.
I'm not sure
I've
where
just-
Geneva County is.
It's
yeah.
in Geneva County.
Oh, over in Geneva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Switzerland.
The next one, Dreamland Barbecue.
Didn't they have a convention in Geneva?
Where do y'all come in? I think it was
When-
called the.
Geneva
There
Convention.
you go.
Whenever, when I was in college in the 90s, people up in Tennessee were talking about Dreamland. Mm-hmm. So when I first came to Birmingham, my first summer in Birmingham was in 95. Everybody's like, you're going to Birmingham? You got to eat at Dreamland. You got to eat at Dreamland. And I went there and it was good. You know, it was unusual because that was back. I don't know if it's still like this, but you got a loaf of bread,
All right.
ribs, sauce.
And
Can of
a
Coke.
You didn't get a bottle of Coke, you got a can of Coke, right? So and
Yeah,
that was like
and
the
a roll of paper towels.
and forever that was the menu.
Yeah, they had no other real sides or anything
But
like
then
that.
they
Yeah.
added
I
to
can-
it and franchised it, and it's not popular anymore.
And it's not
I don't
as
think
good.
it is.
When you went
Right.
to the original one downtown, it was the best.
Well, the original one was in Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa.
Well,
Yeah.
And it was
But
I've
we
never
had one
been to that
downtown
but
here.
the one
Yeah.
downtown
Yeah.
Birmingham and that old house was spectacular.
Yeah.
And now I went to the one on 280 recently.
Uh-huh.
Guys,
Location's off already.
I was a little
You know.
disappointed in
right.
it.
little too
Dreamland-
hoity-toity over there.
Yeah, Dreamland
they
really doesn't belong on
And they
280.
didn't
No.
bring me a bag of Colonial white bread. They brought me a styrofoam plate with a stack of bread on it, which is okay. But if
That
I'm
could have
gonna-
been Nature's Own.
I need to
mean, that
eat-
could have been
That could have
slipping
been
in some
Wonder
hippie bread.
well, and this
Yuppie
guy
bread.
needs. If I'm going there and you give me a cup of sauce, I need a whole loaf of bread because their sauce is really really good.
Yeah, no,
Love
that
their
hasn't
sauce.
changed.
And
That is
the
some
bread
good sauce.
and the sauce. Oh man, it's perfect.
I can very well remember a story that a guy that I went to church with in Munford told me of going to Dreamland in Tuscaloosa, and I think it was his first time to ever go there. So I think this was in the time where that was the only one that existed, the original. And so he went down there and he made his order. I want some ribs and, some coleslaw and some baked beans. And as I remember it, they told him where the Kentucky Fried Chicken was if he wanted to get any sides for what he was going to eat, because it was the white bread. It was Coke in a bottle at that point in time, and ribs. So anyhow, Dreamland it's special, but I agree with
It's
you
been
guys.
compromised.
Right, it's
It
been
has.
compromised.
Once they started getting big.
And I just have to say that, and this is certainly a personal preference thing, not big on the ribs. That is not my favorite kind of barbecue.
I like ribs, but they're messy.
Yeah, they're hard to eat.
They're hard to eat, and and I know there's fall off the bone, stuff or whatever. I just don't like food I have to work for.
Well, and for the two
I
of us,
agree.
that have the beard and mustache, it's a mess. It's just a disaster.
terrible.
You smell barbecue sauce the rest of the day.
Chilton County peaches. This is another on the way to the beach kind of thing, because you got to start at Durbin Farms or Peach Park depending on. That's like an Alabama-Auburn kind of thing. You got to make a choice of one of them. And
Fruit feels like homework, though. I mean, it's just like I eat it because I have to eat it.
Well, having grown up
Peaches are hard to eat. They're in the rib category. They're difficult.
but having grown up in the peach state, they're not that great here. I'll take my Georgia peach over.
I think they're probably the
bit of a
best in Alabama.
snob.
They're the best in Alabama by far.
Sorry, we
but-
can't quite come up to Georgia standards.
La-di-da.
Well, I'm just
Where
saying the
peaches are made of
I'm just
solid
telling
gold.
you, the peaches in Georgia were Now, granted, I moved out of there when I was 17, so I could just have the childhood memory. But you cook it in a cobbler, I don't care where the peaches come from, I'll eat it. How about that?
The next one is
out of a can.
is not a specific thing. It's more of a
Not in Georgia.
Boiled peanuts.
They're slimy.
Good
Again,
job on
hard
the
to eat.
pronunciation. You did a good job.
Boiled peanuts, right?
Boiled peanuts.
Again, slimy and they're messy. Nope.
Yeah, I don't.
It's too much
We
work.
got some
The-
boiled
the
peanuts
slime.
going on here at church.
we?
I've seen some bags exchanged.
Yeah, I just
A couple of our chefs here have been experimenting. I've never had boiled peanuts.
they're not bad. They're just gross. They're slimy.
Are you supposed to eat the hulls?
No, I don't.
You
I
still
don't think so.
I always
because they're all soggy,
I really,
right?
yeah.
I don't eat the holes. No, not. I mean, if you're having some movement issues, you could probably get that fiber from
good
the hole.
roughage.
Fiber. Now here's the last one that I don't know a lot about, but I'm willing to learn. Chocolate gravy. Where do y'all come in on chocolate gravy?
That's
don't
basically
even-
chocolate syrup.
I don't even know what it is.
This says there were several gravies readers suggested worthy of this list, including tomato gravy and even gravy made with Conecuh sausage. But chocolate gravy is the one that seemed to stand out. If you like your biscuits at breakfast to be more sweet than savory, chocolate gravy is the way to go. To try it, you can make it at home, either from scratch or with a mix. Another option, though, is to head to some of the Alabama restaurants, mostly in North Alabama, where the dish is more common, like the Blue Plate Cafe in Huntsville and Stagg's Grocery in Florence.
Did they name any Birmingham institutions?
The last one they actually did, and as you might guess, we can't get off a list without Milo's sweet tea. And I
That's
think
the
we've
best they
I
could
think
do.
we've talked about Milo's before.
Yeah.
So
It's not even food.
Yeah, I think as we work our way back through the
Yeah,
list,
this shouldn't be considered a food. Neither should chocolate gravy. It's a garnish.
I think
Yeah.
as we go back through this list, I think you're right, Drew, that there is.
And Birmingham is a foodie city.
It is a foodie city, right?
But are there any
All
Hamburger
the way
Heaven
back.
should be on this list?
Well, it's not restaurants; it's food. What are
That
you going to
is
say?
true.
Hamburgers?
Oh,
Yeah.
their cheeseburgers are pretty spectacular.
But some of them were unique, like Conecuh sausage, right? I mean, there's a lot of sausages, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, yeah.
This
there's-
list is better than the one I remember us going through if we did go through one, because I really can't remember last time.
Can I do another story real quick?
Drew, if you can stay awake, you can do it.
Do we
It
have,
will keep me.
do
It
we
will
have-
keep me awake.
we have
let's
enough
go.
tape for this?
I think our
Do
tape
I need to get
will-
another cassette?
I think our tape will
All
last.
right, good deal. Go ahead.
I want to talk about this hearing.
Huh?
It bothers me a little bit. Hello? There was a hearing today, and the headline is Experts Testify Before Lawmakers That the U.S. is Running Secret UAP Programs. So my first problem is it's not UFO anymore, it's UAP.
What does a UAP stand for? Drew?
Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena.
No, come on.
Now we got to reverse that. I mean,
That's
So it's not
there's
an
nothing in the-
unidentified flying object anymore. It's
nothing wrong with UFO.
I got to write this down.
That is
I think they
right.
changed it because of the connotations that go along with UFO.
That's ridiculous.
That people don't take it seriously, or you know.
I tell you
that's-
what, I don't take seriously is a undetermined anomalous phenomenon.
unidentified anomalous
Yeah.
phenomena.
And that's a mouthful to say, really.
And it starts with U, and it's 3 letters, just like UFO. So let's just. This is like new Coke.
It's
just
dumb.
go back to what we wanted
Unacceptable.
before.
If you can't accept the tinfoil hat wearing UFO crazies, then you
maybe
have no
they're-
business to talk about it. They
Hey,
may
this
be
article
right.
says maybe they're not crazy after all.
But UAPs will never take over. It's
No.
always UFOs.
UAP.
Ridiculous. All right, so I'll read a little of this. Is intelligent alien life darting around in space and even in the skies above us here on Earth? Has the U.S. government been covering up unexplained phenomena and using secret extraterrestrial discoveries to boost its own technology? Those are among the questions members of Congress today discussed in a joint hearing by subcommittees of the House Oversight Committee. Its title, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, Exposing the Truth. The Pentagon issued a report in March saying that it has found no evidence of extraterrestrial spacecraft. Now that raised the ire of some people. 4 experts testified in Wednesday's public hearing. Extraordinary moments unfolded in a similar hearing last year, most notably when retired Major David Grush, formerly part of the Pentagon's UAP task force, alleged that the U.S. government has recovered non-human biologics from crash sites and has long operated a secret reverse engineering program to glean advances from recovered vessels. Grush is not among the witnesses for the 2024 hearing. Instead, those testifying include Tim... Okay, y'all don't care about... Let's see what some of their testimony is.
Does anyone else feel the urge to go, phenomenon, do, 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 phenomenon? No? No? Okay. Just
His testimony, this Tim Gallaudet, retired Rear Admiral, U.S. Navy, CEO of Ocean STL Consulting.
we can't even get a front admiral?
He said,
just the rear
confirmation that UAPs are interacting with humanity came from me in January 2015. He describes being a part of a pre-deployment naval exercise off the U.S. East Coast that culminated in the famous Go Fast video, in which a Navy FA-18 jet sensors recorded an unidentified object exhibiting flight and structural characteristics unlike anything in our arsenal. Luis Elizondo,
Gesundheit.
former Department of Defense official, his written testimony was brief and alleged that a secretive arms race is playing out on the global stage. He said, "Let me be clear, UAP are real. Advanced technologies not made by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe. Furthermore, the U.S. is in possession of UAP technologies, as are some of our adversaries." Okay, so that's enough to get you and our listeners appraised of what happened in this hearing today. We had an official hearing in Congress where we were talking about evidence for UAPs. Meanwhile, Trump in some interview said if he can do so, he's going to release whatever information we have on this.
Mm-hmm.
And more people in the public are saying, you should tell us what you know. And it's interesting, you know, do you remember the old Orson Welles radio program when he was doing War of the Worlds and
I'm
he was
sure
doing
Tim
such a
does.
convincing... Tim, you remember that? When he was doing such a convincing job that people were going
third
crazy for fear that
Yeah.
UFOs are real and alien life was real. There's not that kind of hysteria in the world. There's apparently, full disclosure, I've always been a skeptic about this, and I've never taken it seriously. And it still hangs out there that the Pentagon, and I know they cover things up, but they were pretty solid in saying there's no evidence. So we have 4 so-called experts before a congressional hearing today testifying that there is evidence.
But these are experts that say they've seen things, but they don't have any physical, tangible proof other than what they've seen, right? They don't have like they
They've
didn't reach
seen
over
evidence
and
that is
unzip a flesh suit and there's
classified.
a guy with 4 heads or 10 eyes. I mean, there's
What they say they've seen are objects moving in the air in ways that our technology can't explain. Like making a 90-degree turn at speeds that we could not duplicate with our technologies.
Right. And so I think in there they said they claimed that it was, unidentified, which it is, right? Are UFOs real? Yeah. If I don't know what that is up there, it's flying and I can't identify it, that makes it a UFO.
Not a UAP.
But not a UAP?
Because you know what they've talked, every one of these examples that they've brought up, where were they? In the air. What were they doing? They were flying. What were they? An object. Unidentified
Right.
flying
That doesn't
object. It's a
necessarily
UFO.
mean alien technology. They're
Right. And so,
saying we can't explain the way they move.
And they say neither we nor any other country can be doing this. Hogwash. Some other, just because we don't have that technology doesn't mean somebody else doesn't have it and is out there testing. Of
course, I'm pretty sure
Do we
it's-
think we're the only country in the world? The answer to that is yes, right?
But I'm
Well-
pretty sure it's not China because they floated a balloon.
Right, they're floating balloons.
Kind of an old technology.
North Korea is floating balloons full of garbage and poo
the
over
deal
South
is
Korea.
they
So-
floated the balloon in the day so that at night they could test their unidentified flying objects that can do a 90-degree turn to the left.
Maybe you're right.
Perhaps.
But, I don't want to have any
Watch
close,
this balloon.
I don't
Watch
want to have
this.
any close human contact with any extraterrestrial, foreign, unidentified, anomalous phenomena. Because I have read in the tabloids at the supermarket what those beings, those phenomena do to humans. No, sir.
You think those
Nope.
monkeys are bad?
Yeah, nope.
Just wait till you turn those.
Yeah.
Now,
You read those and then put them back because you need to buy one if you're reading it while you're just in line.
I
Okay?
read them and put them back. You never know who might marry a lump of dirt to inherit millions, or
I mean, we could get a story for the podcast out of that, one of those.
I probably should.
This comes from the National Enquirer.
did you catch that in the testimony, which was under oath, that they were claiming the government is reverse engineering some of this technology, that they have it, that they study it, try to learn how to make our own technology like it. So I don't know. It's very interesting. There are three possibilities I've read about and heard about that people are saying. I'm going to throw these three out, and then I'm going to tell you how I feel about them. The most obvious possibility that people use are aliens from outer space. The second possibility, and I heard this said by a person that a lot of people listen to, is that they could be celestial beings from another dimension, such as angels or demons. And Ezekiel chapter 1 was referenced, where there are spinning wheels and bright lights and things like that described. The third possibility I heard, I think from one of these guys that was at the hearing today, is that these could be other beings from, this is crazy, from the ocean. He says, we know more about outer space than we know about the ocean. And we don't know what all's down there.
I want to postulate a fourth possibility.
Okay.
Bad Chinese food.
It could be
Just
something that they
creating-
ate.
Yeah.
Now, I'm skeptical about all of those, all three of those. And, the problem with the aliens, I have a couple of philosophical problems. One is, one we've talked about on this podcast, the Fermi paradox. The Fermi paradox says with all the billions of planets out there, we should have found life out there by now. If you believe in the theory of evolution, which, I don't believe the world came about by evolution. I believe in creation. But if you believe that, then life should have developed on other planets, given billions of opportunities out there. The second problem I have with it is I don't know how that can be reconciled with the Bible. The Bible makes Earth the point of everything, and humanity the point of everything. And Jesus came to earth, and he died on earth. He rose on earth. He ascended from earth. He's coming back to earth. Does that mean, can you reconcile that story with an alien race living hundreds of light years away from here? Did they never sin, or did they sin and God did not send anybody to save them? Or did Jesus go to another planet? I don't believe any of that.
Well, and if the government is reverse engineering this technology, where is it? It's not in windmills. It's not in TSA and security at the airport.
How are they using it?
Where are we using this technology? I mean, you would hear, we've not put a man on the moon in 60 years or more, 70 years. How long's it been? We if this technology's out there, why are our astronauts stuck on the International Space Station and Elon's going to have to go rescue them? If the technology is being reverse engineered, I would love to see proof of it, because we don't have any new forms of energy that are more efficient than what we've already got. We've got, so we've got LED lights. You can't tell me that came from alien technology. Where's the proof? Where are the cures? I don't know.
That's a good question.
That's my question. If they're reverse engineering, what are they making out of it?
Yeah,
if you can
I don't
show
think
me
there's
something,
anything to this. I think people are just, they get excited about conspiracy theories. And like Tim said, there's a lot of things that can look funny up in the sky, and a lot of glitches in recording equipment, and it
let me
could have
tell you,
been
folks,
anything.
Your eyes will deceive you. How do magicians get you? Their hands move faster than your eyes can go. There are certain things that you see that didn't really happen.
Right. David Copperfield is going to make the moon disappear.
I've been watching for that. It's still not happened.
And that was an early episode of Passages.
Yeah, that's
when
like
we talked
episode
about that.
1 or 2, and it's just not happened. I'm
But we haven't forgotten. We keep our passengers updated, and we're watching for the moon to disappear.
I am interested in this Aquaman theory, though. I think we need to keep our eye on.
That's
the
precisely
beings
what
from
it
the
is.
ocean.
It's an Aquaman theory.
Do these people like Kevin Costner in Waterworld have gill slits behind their ears? That's a question
They
I
have
need
to.
to hear. Yeah,
They must.
must.
How else
Either
can they
the-
live down there?
Either that, or they're in like a bubble, and they
Like Jar Jar Binks?
and
Yeah,
they shoot that rocket that they come flying out of the water, and then they make 90-degree turns with lights at night.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Tim
Did I ever
hasn't
tell you
seen
about my alien
Star Wars.
experience I had?
No.
We may not have time, but I was a young man.
We still got enough tape.
I was a very young man and went on a camping trip at Stone Mountain Park. It was my dad, myself, my friend Andy, and his dad Steve, and I honestly can't remember if my brother went with us or not. I remember the 4 of us. So Andy and I, doing like kids done at the campground, it's dark outside. We had wandered off. You were out. And all of a sudden, out of the night, this huge, glowing, celestial-looking orb thing comes flying over. And we had to have been like 9 or 10 or 11, somewhere in that age. And we panicked. We were like, I have no clue what this is. I've never seen anything like it. It was lit up. Come to find out, it was a Goodyear blimp. There was an event in downtown, and they light that thing up really bright
Wow.
at night. And I will never forget
awesome.
the fear I had that we were about to be abducted by non-human biologics,
You're just waiting for that
and
one.
they were going to check us.
There was that.
And that's
one.
not a good thing. I don't want to. They were gonna do a little probing, and I was not excited about
All
it.
you needed was that one beam of light to come down.
But guys, that may be
tractor
where
beam.
a lot of my early fears started. But I remember us laughing about it after it happened, and we realized what it was.
But you had to go change your shorts.
But it was like it just came out of nowhere because we weren't paying attention. We're goofing off out there having fun. And I'm sure I did. I probably slept with one eye open that night, just in case they came scratching.
That's a
on the
good
surface.
story.
is
Never
great.
heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's enough of that. Let's take a little break here. We'll come back with our Bad Preacher segment. All right, it's time for Bad Preachers.
Preachers.
Put your hand on that television set.
And you wouldn't go about establishing your own kingdom in the video room.
No video kingdom.
Isn't that
Hope you're listening,
called
Patrick. No video
Could it be Satan?
All right, so this week's edition, we just couldn't resist. We're bringing Tony Hudson back.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones with him. And this is a 2.5-minute clip.
And this clip is not, what's the word I'm looking for here? We do not stand behind this clip.
Right.
We do not endorse
make this disclaimer
clip.
before
Yeah.
every one of these clips.
We do not think this clip is speaking about right things.
That's right. Let's just play it.
But we're still going to laugh at it.
If it gets boring, we'll cut it. But I don't think we're going to get bored here.
No.
Is like a good woman. It says now don't y'all try to make this practical, or every woman in here is going to have a hard time with this message. Amen. Some of that crowd hates that spiritualization. Well, you're spiritualizing that. Well, if I start making it practical, there ain't a woman in here going to like any of this message. Because you don't meet up to these expectations.
Some brave men in the background.
Amen. We can't even sew a button on
Mm-hmm.
a shirt anymore. We got so sorry in our homes in America that if a button falls off, you go to Walmart and buy another one. So don't look down, ma'am, like you've lost something. You can't even sew a button on a shirt. Amen. You got to send breeches to get him, bless God, to the dry cleaners. I've never seen anything like it. My sisters grew up making dresses. They used to sell cloth. They had bolts of cloth and had patterns. Is everybody all right? People had sewing machines and sewing boxes. Amen. They used to cook. Nowadays, when you say supper time, kids run to the cars. Somebody say amen. It's preaching. Don't look down. Y'all gonna tick me off, and I was feeling good. You gonna make me mad, and I'll preach mad. Is everybody okay? Be ye therefore angry, the Bible said. I like that verse. Hey, church is like a good woman. We can't even find a good woman. And you can't find a good woman.
Oh, it says about 15 minutes later. He's got his coat off now.
You know, they exercise church discipline. When people's out of line. Don't look down. Look up. Look up. Look up. Look up. Comes up. Look up.
Comes up.
Hey, look up. Church is strong. What about these weak churches? Don't stand for anything. Any kind. No qualifications for nobody. Anything goes. Look the other way. If they can't be a deacon, give them a title for something else. Somebody help me now. Make up your own offices. Don't look down like you lost. Don't look down like you lost something. Hey, they're weak. Weak.
Uh-oh. He went and sat down next to
Hey, man, Brother Tony.
some
That's
poor
right.
little girl.
Say it again. They're weak. Who can find one?
You think that girl will stick with that Baptist church when she grows up? I don't think so.
Man, that guy, he needs a hobby. Something to let go of some of his
The
anger.
fact that he lived through that service after trashing, I mean, is there not some woman who was ready to withstand him to the face?
I'm afraid in that culture, there's a lot of abuse and
how recent is
fear.
that?
I don't know. I closed the video out.
Surely no one that's got to be old, right?
Well, you said that the last time we played this guy, and
it was fairly recent.
he was talking about Obama.
Yeah,
so
That's right.
yeah, but I don't know if our
for the record,
listeners
I can
could
sew
see
my
this, but-
own button on. Thank you.
Yeah, when he started screaming, "Look up!" he was screaming at the people in the audience who were so embarrassed they couldn't make eye contact with him.
Well, and then you have his pulpit of people behind him that are, "Amen, that's the truth."
And this wasn't a big.
They're
thing
they're
to point out,
enabling
it's
him,
a
right?
small little church building.
They're saying preach
He's right
on.
there with the people.
Do you
Well,
think
they
they're
have to-
saying
they
that
don't-
because they're afraid of him?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't want to be his target.
Scared to death.
Preach on. Amen. I'm going to start doing that during your sermons. Would that distract you? I said, preach on.
No,
It's going to happen one day.
you do it.
I'm going to get over my fear of speaking out in front of everybody out there. I'm going to be like,
Now, having been in
Amen.
his position, I have wanted to scream, look up, more like wake up.
this goes back to you can actually see what's happening out there. See, I
Yeah,
forget
you can
this
see
sometimes.
everything. You can see everything.
Let me ask you this. If
Be-
I sit in this position like this, can you see my eyes and tell if they're open or closed? Like just
Yeah.
right here?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I can.
I gotta
Nice
work
on
try,
this.
though.
I got to work on that.
Be ye angry. I love that verse.
Yeah. He forgot the second half of that verse, which he probably should read. Because I believe it says, and sin not.
I think that's the way he reads the Bible is.
We
I
used
like
to-
that part.
Did he call it a bolt of fabric?
Yeah,
bolts
bolt.
of cloth. We used to have bolts of cloth with patterns on them, and
My
sewing
sister
machines
sewed a
and
dress.
sewing boxes.
Yeah, you know why you don't have those anymore.
Because you can buy that stuff now.
You know,
And those patterns were not very pretty.
and maybe if he'd talk about, I don't know, God's word, he wouldn't have to talk about this stuff. How about
Yeah,
read
the only
some
verse
scripture
he
there?
quoted is part of the
Yeah.
be ye angry.
I like that verse. Well, you need to read the
Y'all
rest
ain't
of
gonna
it.
like it if I start making this practical.
Yeah. Boy, don't you know it's happiness in his house? Don't you know there is? You think when he gets home on Sunday afternoon, his meal's already on the table for him?
It better be.
Hey, it looks like it. If you've seen this guy,
He's not missed a meal.
he's a big
Yeah.
fella. Well fed.
You know, how do people put up with that crap? I'm sorry, that stuff.
I think that's the reason that it was a small building, and you could
Yeah,
hear each
not many
person-
people were
You
putting
could
up
hear
with it.
each person that was making a comment.
There's enough support there that he keeps doing it.
Some people just want to be entertained. He's entertaining.
I might want to be entertained occasionally. I don't want to be yelled at, belittled. I sure don't want my wife being told she's not a good woman.
Well,
Who
that's
can find a good woman? We can't find one.
his poor wife was
You know,
sitting
there's
out there thinking, I thought I was a good woman.
She probably thinking every night, I think I'm going to get the frying pan and just
Yeah.
finish him off.
well, and you know, there's
It might happen.
He could have preached the sermon on what's the passage? Oh yeah, Proverbs 31 on the virtuous woman, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
who can find?
yeah. How
But he
about-
would have done that like the verse on anger. He would just cut it
He
off right
stopped
there.
Yeah.
Who can
There
find?
ain't
Nobody
one.
can find one.
Hadn't been one since 19, none of your business.
Oh man, I would not make it long in that place.
Well, that's the quality programming that we bring our listeners. We're exposing these preachers, and
Preach on.
this will get out there, and he'll lose his job, and we'll save souls. So
Yeah.
that's why we do this service.
You know, I'm just glad to say I've listened to you preach for 24 years or so, Drew. I'm glad I don't have any videos of you doing this stuff.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I would hope not.
That's my promise to you, Jason. I'll try to restrain my anger.
Yeah.
While I'm standing up there.
Unless we're at the ball field.
Why does it go back to that?
It's a sensitive spot still.
Lost my temper one
It's
time.
an uncomfortable moment.
Yeah, everybody was uncomfortable. But we're still friends. We're doing a podcast together.
That's right. All right, we're back. Jason's almost dead. We had
has
a
the
little more
consumption.
fun in the break than we're having on air.
I'm sweating. That's not even funny.
We still keep a few things to ourselves. Not gonna let everything out there. So let's get to the more serious portion of our program tonight. Our passage. Tonight's passage is from Thomas Merton. And he says, the rush and pressure of modern life are a form, perhaps the most common form, of its innate violence. To allow oneself to be carried away by a multitude of conflicting concerns, to surrender to too many demands, to commit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone in everything is to succumb to violence. More than that, it is cooperation in violence. That's Thomas Merton. He was a Catholic monk and wrote a lot of stuff, mostly poetry. And you could see how a monk could say something like this. I think he spent a lot of time in isolation, in solitude, living in a way that would be very unusual by today's standards. Because we just go from one thing to another. And I think that's why I was drawn to this quotation. Life has been really busy at the Kaiser House lately. And I find myself, at the end of every week thinking, is it already Saturday? Is it possible that a whole week has already gone by? Or a whole month or a whole year? And, the fuller life gets, the faster it seems to go by. And, as you get older, there's just so little time. And you look back and you think about all the things you wanted to do. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I just wish I had more control over my life. I feel like I'm a marionette on strings and I'm just being pulled from one thing to the other. And I know that's not true. I know I could have more control if I do some of the things he's suggesting in this quote.
And I think in general, we can just, put this into the realm of good things, right? There's probably nothing on, when you're having that feeling about where did the week go, there's nothing on that list that you wouldn't necessarily characterize as a good thing, right? So be it, work. That's a good thing. I mean, we're blessed to have jobs. Our kids have events that we're all at, and that consumes time. And, we love our kids, and we love to see them perform and do things that they enjoy doing, and, playing sports, and, all that's good. Church events, right? We all, we've grappled for the last 20 years talking about what's the right balance to have in terms of church events, right?
Yeah.
You want to have an active church. And so part of an active church is you have things going on. You have opportunities for people to grow. You have opportunities, you want to encourage people to come in, and so you design some things around that. You want to have chances for people to edify one another and just enjoy fellowship, all good things, right? And you have a life full of all of this, we'll just stop it with just things that can be categorized as goodness, but you can't do it all.
Yeah.
Or if you do it all that goodness, it's interesting. He talks about it. He calls it violence, right?
Yeah, I had to stop and think for a while.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think he means by violence?
So I went to just started looking up definitions of violence. And so the most common one I found was a swift and intense force. And so using it in that term, like he was using it like a violent flood, a swift and intense flood. So, in that form of it, he's saying that it is something that just consumes us. Right. I saw it that it was also like an unjust or an unwanted exertion of force. So it has something to do with the force of something on your life, and I think that's what he's going to. That these things keep us so stinking busy that they are just an overwhelming force in our life. As I read this quote and I thought about it, and as you were talking about kind of the balance of all the things we do in life, we all remember 2020, the pandemic, and being forced to shut down. I mean, for 6 weeks, I really had nothing to do. Couldn't really work. Couldn't meet together. Granted, some of us still got together, once or twice a week just to get together and hang out. But we all survived. But I can remember us all during the pandemic and afterwards saying, wow, that slowdown, that stoppage of time, being able to disengage from all the things that clutter our lives, how freeing that was. And I can remember telling my wife and telling my friends and telling y'all, man, when things pick back up, I'm going to make sure that I don't overtask myself. I need this downtime, because it was a hard time because I couldn't work there. I mean, there was a lot of things weird about it, but at the same time, the amount of time I had to do things I enjoyed doing. I mean, that 6-7 weeks was wonderful because I couldn't go do things. So I was forced to slow down. And I remember thinking, man, when life gets back to being busy, I'm going to make time to slow down.
And we all said that.
And here we are.
I mean, I remember us sitting around talking about this.
And here we are.
Worse than ever.
Running wide open. I mean, there is not a night a week that I don't get home late because of something. And, I mean, I can't tell you the last time I was home at 5 or 5:30 in the evening.
And so why is that? Because the fact is that all of those activities of life that got stopped, they all cranked back up. Mm-hmm. Your work started again. Yeah. Kids went back to school. They were able to do extracurriculars. We started assembling again, and we started, adding back things where basically all we were doing is, just a worship service or whatever. And all of those things individually are good.
But collectively, they're a burden. They're a force.
Collectively, they can't. Mm-hmm. And so, the question is always about balance.
That's right.
Right?
Well, and boundaries. When I was reading this and thinking about it today, I wrote down the words boundaries, the power of no, and the idea of self-care. And that's something that we all, I'm awful with boundaries, and I'm getting better at the power of no. But for the longest time in my life, the people-pleasing aspect of my life said, if you ask me to do something and I could find any chance of doing it to make you happy, I was going to say, yeah, I can do that. Hey, can you serve on this board, or can you help us with this project, or can you come over and do this? Sure, I'd be happy to. And inside I was thinking, man, I just want some time for myself. Yeah. And I have learned to say no a little bit more. I'm still not great at setting boundaries. I'm working on self-care, taking time. Like I try to sit quietly with my earbuds in, quiet music playing, and read an hour a night. That's something I try to do every night because that's my time to unwind. But even with that, I'm still caught up in the rush and pressure of modern life with conflicting concerns. And I'm surrendering to demands, and I'm committing oneself to way too many projects, and I'm trying to help everyone and everything. I mean, as I read that quote, I'm like, yep, I checked that box. Yep, I checked that box. Yep, I checked that one too. And we think that we are multitasking and managing it well. In reality, we're kind of making ourselves get right back to where we were pre-pandemic, which was exhausted, tired, and just not really all that fulfilled because we're not doing anything great.
Yeah. I had a slightly different, doesn't disagree with you, but a slightly different view of violence. When I was thinking of it, I thought of it as violence to the inner self. Basically killing yourself.
Yeah.
Inside.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And I'm reminded of Jesus' words to the devil in the wilderness, man shall not live by bread alone. And, a life that's all exterior is a life on bread alone. Mm-hmm. And it's a death by bread alone. Yeah. It turns into a death by bread alone. And, when you're dying on the inside, you could be achieving things and helping a lot of people, and you're not going to feel the joy, the gratitude, or the love that is supposed to be behind all of that. And it's all for nothing. It's like the beginning of 1 Corinthians 13. Mm-hmm. You're moving mountains, but it's just a clanging cymbal. Yeah. It's nothing. It's meaningless without love. And the only way you can have that love is to be able to stop and think for a few minutes about what your motives are and what's going on in your life, and not be led by the nose. here and there and told where you're supposed to be and when you're supposed to be, when you can't do your reading or can't do your prayer or can't do your worship. You have to take control over those things because people aren't going to give them to you.
I think probably all of us grew up in homes where, I know we all grew up in homes where the church was important to us. And part of that, and y'all tell me if you were different, but we were involved in everything at church.
Every single thing.
Everything.
If the doors were open, we were
Doors
there.
were open, right?
But there were fewer things back then.
There were
was.
fewer things, but that's our background that shapes the three of us is that you're involved in everything, right? Because it's good. And as you said, there were fewer things than I think we've developed today, but that still is the basis of what's built inside of me that says it's very difficult to say no to something that's going on at church. But I'm getting to the point where I'm beginning to just sort of have to say no to some things. Now, it still makes me feel bad because of what has been established in me. But I think we have to get to the point where, and of course, we're talking about a lot of the activities around it. I think we can set formal worship sort of to the side of this discussion, and because there's so many other things that are going on, which are great. But I think we need to make sure that we sort of understand that everybody doesn't have to do everything, right? And so, the whole church doesn't have to necessarily move to every place along the way. Things are developed for different groups. Things are developed, for people in different stages of life. And sometimes even for the thing that's developed for your stage of life, if you've got to have some balance, I think there's two things that we need to think about in relation to like our participation in church things to some degree. And that is, can I do it well? And does it bring joy to me? Because I've fought with things during my life where it's like, I feel like I have to do this. And I sort of lose the joy of a church work, and it feels like a task all of a sudden. And I was about to say, I'm not sure. I don't think the Lord's pleased with me about that.
I think a biblical example of that is Mary and Martha, right? Jesus comes in the house. Martha is busying herself with preparing everything. She's doing nothing wrong.
Right.
Mary sits down at Jesus' feet, is going to be listening to him. Martha's fixing food, whatever she's doing. She's just busying herself. And she says, can you say something to Mary? Tell her to get up and help me. And he's like, well, you actually need to just slow down and focus on what's in front of you and important right now. And sometimes I think sometimes in the church, and I don't just mean specifically this church, I think in Christianity in general, we define the work we're doing and how good of a Christian we are by how much we're doing. Like, we feel like if we're attending every worship service that the doors are open for, if we're attending all the Bible studies, the family devos, the other events that are going on, that we're really, quote unquote, we're being really good Christians. And we can be doing all that stuff and be totally missing the mark. We can be 100%, living in sin. I think when Christ, there's this judgment scene and people say, did I not prophesy in your name? And did I not do this? And did I not do that? And Christ says, depart from me, I never knew you. A lot of times we busy ourselves so much to make ourselves feel like we're doing the work, but in reality, in our heart, we're not doing a whole lot of the work. And we're busying ourselves to make us feel better about that. I mean, I can talk about my own personal life. I mean, for 10, 15 years, I did everything the church asked me to do. I mean, I served as a deacon in a servant position. I taught Bible class and all these things. And my life was absolutely in shambles. But I could still put on that face and busy myself in doing things, but I never slowed down enough to really focus on what matters. And I think that's where we get in trouble, is by just really busying ourselves. And we do that to our own. One of the definitions that ties into what you were saying about violence that I looked up was a rough or injurious physical force, action, or treatment. And when we're doing that to our own destruction. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a scary place to be. Yeah.
Let me push back a little bit. I know y'all didn't intend this, but we've spent all this time talking about the things we need to eliminate from church activities as if that's really what's crowding our life. Let's be honest. Our careers, our recreation, our kids' activities, our kids' coaches, the sports activities, these things and others outside the church crowd our lives as much or more. In fact, I think we're better at saying no to the church than we are a lot of these other things. And it's different, I know, because the church isn't going to kick you out if you don't show up at the potluck.
Yeah.
Right? If anything, they're going to give you more attention. But if you don't show up for work and you don't work that overtime your boss expects of you, you could lose your job.
Yeah, I think there's a balance there that's got to be found.
I think I think a lot of this is American culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, some folks, I see what they're having to do, and I feel for them because I don't know if they have many options.
Yeah.
You have to work. You get our age and you can't really change careers, not without doing a lot of violence to other things. But
well, and I think I'm getting into a unique place in life, and I think we all are in some way. Drew and you and I have kids that are college age now.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a sophomore. You've got a sophomore in high school. You've got a freshman in high school,
Mm-hmm.
right? My outside extracurricular things, it's amazing how much they've slowed down. I mean, you remember the peak of it when the kids were playing park ball, travel ball, whatever, and we were at the ball field every single night. There are other things that take away some of that time now, but in a lot of ways, work and, well, for me, recovery work has really eaten up a lot of time. But, my hope is that as I get older and wiser and more mature, that I'll be able to make some better decisions about where my time goes. There's a time when your kids are young, and I only had 2 kids. You had 2, Tim, you had 1. I can't imagine what it's like for these families that have 3 or 4 kids and there was years where the tail was wagging the dog as far as activities went. But one of the things I look forward to as I get older and my kids get older is maybe I can make some more time for things I enjoy. Like I enjoy studying the Bible. I mean, I've been working on a lesson, a class I'm going to be teaching next quarter, and I've enjoyed taking the time doing that. It's just nice to have time to do it. But I think we've all forgotten the lesson we learned with the lockdown, which is when things shut down.
I haven't forgotten. I just don't know how to get there without. I mean, it's horrible. We're talking about the blessings of a pandemic. Of course, we all had the fortune of not getting sick.
You just have COVID-20.
A lot of people lost their lives.
Yeah.
But I remember living through that and thinking, I think this is the way human beings are built to live. Not the shutdown. Please, if you're listening, please understand. I'm
not
talking
the
about
separation.
I
not
would
the
work
shutdown.
a little.
Yeah.
I would read a little. I would play a little.
Yep.
Every day.
I had a lot more balance in my life between activities.
Right. You know, you need.
I could replenish energy a lot more than I can.
I was with my family
now.
the whole time.
That's right.
And together, we worked, we rested, and we played.
Well, I think about the projects that we as a family got done during that time.
Yeah.
I can't get one project done right now. And we got 4 or 5 major projects done during that time in 6 weeks.
Everybody's got, you go over to everybody's house, they've got their, well, I did that. That's what I did during COVID.
Yeah,
you know?
That's right.
Yeah. I think, there's probably not been a lot of times where we've turned away, like, telling our kids, hey, you've maxed out, right? You can't participate in X that you want to. And maybe that's okay, right? Because that's a stage of life that we're all going to be out of in about 4 years as a group. I think that there's something to be said that we go through different stages of life, and that sort of defines what we can do and how far we can go. I do think it's about balance, but I do think I think when it comes to our spiritual lives, that one of the things we need to think about is, am I doing this with the right attitude, or have I gotten to the point where it's sort of gone over the edge, and I'm losing the right. I'm just sort of faking my way through some activity or something that I'm involved in. And, because when we do things for the Lord, we want to do it with the right attitude, and we want to do it with the right level of excellence as well. And so I think that, and hey, we've got to apply these things, to Drew's point earlier, right? We got to apply these same kind of things to all the rest of our life, right? Because, we literally, there's enough work to do to work all the time in most jobs, right? You could work 24 hours a day if you chose to, and there would be work to do. We have to achieve balance there too. That's easier for me to say at 58 after having worked 36 years somewhere than it was at 28, having worked 6 or 7 years somewhere. And
do you remember those, was it a week or a month that you would have every year where you were working like 100 hours a week?
It was during that review time. Man, you just disappear.
When I had a team.
I mean, it was just
I think the modern term is
of the year where we won't see him.
Us during that time.
Yeah.
Right. I was, and there were, I think about, fortunately for me, all of that changed sort of in my work-life balance about the time that Jonathan was born.
Yeah.
And it got so much more reasonable, and I think that was, I think God blessed me, at that point. But it also, I mean, those are the kind of choices you make that sort of shape the rest of your life, right? Because in some cases, if you're trying to work up the corporate ladder, and you're making decisions about, am I going to give you, 8 or 9 hours, or am I going to give you 14 or 15 hours every day? That may make a lasting difference on what happens. That's not always the answer, right? Sometimes the fact that you're good at what you do and you show that aptitude and show your growth will overcome, amounts of time that you work, right? But there are a lot of jobs that want their pound of flesh out of you to show that you got the right stuff.
Yeah.
And so, just in the same way, I mean, it's every aspect of life. You got to decide, where am I going to dedicate this time? And oh, by the way, you can't fill that thing all the way up to the top, because if you don't have some time for rest and recharging your batteries, this is one of those things, and not to get off too much on a hobby horse, but this is one of those things that I always felt like, even from when I was very young at work, is we had some projects. There was something called the future billing system that they put in place, and they developed this enormous team And it was what we would call, excuse sort of the term for this or whatever. We call it a death march, right? I mean, it was unrealistic expectations, an unreal amount of work. Let's get 9 ladies together to have a baby in a month kind of thing, right? It was just, we're going, and so that project was so crazy. I was sort of on the fringes of it, so I never was directly involved in it, but like people lost their marriages over that project. They would literally bring supper in for those folks every single night. They would do their dry cleaning, because they didn't have time to, get to somewhere before it closed. They were there day and night. I was always a proponent of, there's a law of diminishing returns when it comes to working like that. Listen, if we all work hard for 10 hours and we get out of here and we go home, have dinner with our family, rest a little bit, and come back tomorrow, I always felt that that was just as effective as having people work 18 hours and go drop in the bed, get back up, and go right back to it. And it was for a couple of reasons. One is you just lose your effectiveness and turn into a vegetable. The other is you spend 4 of those hours every day complaining about what's going on. And it's like, so work hard for a reasonable amount of time. And maybe that's more than the norm, right? More than the 8 or whatever every day. But you work hard, you don't waste time. Let's get to it. And then let's get out of here. Tell everybody, get out of here. But sometimes that was your method of showing we're doing everything we can do, right? We're burning the candle at both ends. And so the parking lot's still full at 9:00 at night. And that's showing we're doing everything we can. When really, I think that's just killing people. And really, at some point, I've always been a proponent of work a good hard day, maybe that involves a little bit of overtime, but you got to quit and you got to go recharge or you're no good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's one, and I know we're running long, but there's one last thing. There's 2 phrases at the end of this quote where it says to commit oneself to too many projects and to want to help everyone in everything. How much of that is pride? How much does pride create this sense of I have to say yes to this, or I have to be everything to everyone. I have to try to help in all of these different projects.
I think it is a form of pride, and
for me, I know it is. I want to help
because you can put the word "or" at the end.
Yeah,
I have to help this person, or what?
Yeah,
or they'll be mad at me, or they won't think I like them, or they won't think I'm very good Christian, or they don't think they'll think I'm lazy.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't want your image to fall in this person's mind. That's pride.
And sometimes I wonder how often we get ourselves in trouble by overcommitting because of that, because we want people to think, oh, that's the guy. If I need to go to him, he'll do anything for me. And we draw pride from that. I'm the go-to person. I'm the problem solver. When in reality, it's you just saying, look at me, I'm great, you need me. But you're doing it at your own expense. That's where that violence to self comes from.
Listen, sometimes it's just as simple as one good thing is good, 2 good things are better, 3 good things are great.
Yeah.
And you have this idea, but it's really not like that.
No.
Yeah.
Good quote. I really like this one.
Yeah,
that's a lot to think about.
There's a lot of similar quotes that I think we'll be returning to as this stage of life. We're all working on this. If we were all retired, we'd be looking at other quotes. But this one speaks to where we are in life right now.
10 to 25 years, we'll be able to sit around, the 3 of us still doing this and talking about quotes that are not
Episode
about the stresses of life.
842 or something like
20
that.
years. Let's see. Tim, you'll be 78. I'll be 65.
The title of episode 842, what in the world to do with all this free time?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You thought Joe was bad. What are we talking about?
But this is episode 47.
Oh, man, we're closing in on 50.
Number 50, we
we're
want a
gonna do
listener
requests.
request. So we need you to be sending in your questions, your topics, your comments, just anything we can discuss And that will make that a great episode. We had a good listener request episode before, and we've already been getting some feedback. So if you want to be a part of that episode, send us your stuff. The best way you can do that is through the Instagram account, passages_podcast. I'll let John tell you all about it, and stick with us. We'll be here next time on Passages.
Follow us on Instagram at passages_podcast, and join us next time on Passages.